Okay, let's begin with a Times Network exclusive now. The latest on the Tuticorin Massacre, where in fact Times Network has accessed the report that the DGP has submitted in the Madras High Court, and in this report nothing has been in fact mentioned about the police firing. The DGP has gone on to put the onus onto the violent protesters, blaming them for the situation that went completely out of hand, though not even mentioning the fact that the police opened fire on the protesters there in Tuticorin, killing 13 on the 22nd of May. Remember, this is taking place even as the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy is set to visit Tuticorin on Saturday to meet with the families of those who were shot dead by the police during the anti-Sterlite protesters and those who were injured in that firing. Remember, 13 people lost their lives in that gruesome firing during the protests against Sterlite. Well, that's what's taking place now. It's the DGP report is further adding, of course, to this entire story. The state DGP, the top cop of the state, in fact, turning the blame on the protesters, saying that it was the protesters who turned violent. They'd attacked the police, and the police were, all attempts to, in fact, control them had completely failed. They go on to say that about 20,000 people had gathered for the protests in Tuticorin on that fateful day when the police opened fire. And now the DGP also talking about the fact that police personnel were attacked. They had they tried their level best to control the mob at different times, but they were unable to do so. The DGP of the state admitting as much, in fact, in his affidavit that he has filed in the Madras High Court. So significant developments here in the Tuticorin Massacre, with Tamil Nadu top cop in fact now filing his affidavit in the Madras High Court in his response, in fact, to the events that took place on the 22nd of May. Remember, we're showing you pictures from that fateful day and the day after as well, when there were violent protests in the streets. Let's go across to my colleague Pramod Madhav joining us live from the city of Chennai. Pramod, important development, of course, with the affidavit that Times Network has exclusively accessed. The DGP there putting the onus completely on the violent protesters.
Well, exactly. Not just the DGP, the Chief Minister has also said the same thing earlier. The DGP and the Chief Minister maintained that the crowd was close to 20,000, and that's the reason they had trouble to control the crowd, and that's why they had met with the trouble. Met with it without having any other choice. They had to use lethal force. That's how they have been giving the explanation till now, and that's what you could see in this memo also.
Right, and Pramod, what is very clear from that is the fact that the DGP, the police, that is, and the state government on the same page as far as the events that occurred on the 22nd of May are concerned, that they had little option but to resort to this sort of police firing.
Well, that's what the people are not ready to accept, because on the people's side on Tuticorin 22nd May, it was the 100th day of protest. 100 days they have protested over there without the government coming forward to have even a single kind of talk. And that's where they were completely upset, and they decided to walk all the way from VVD Signal to collector's office, 8 kilometers distance, to meet the collector. That point also, even eyewitnesses have spoken to us who mentions that they want to just sit there. It was like a sit-in protest and nothing more. But when the agitation started, it resulted in like stone pelting and various other forms. And finally, the government says that people involved in arson, and that's why they had to open fire. However, zone around the collector's office, there has been like stone pelting and arson. Inside the collector's office, nothing had occurred, and the eyewitnesses who've spoken to us, they mentioned very clearly that once there was gunfire, everybody started to flee. But the thing is that one of the eyewitnesses even asked us, why were they still continuing to fire when the people have started to flee? And that's the reason, that's a question a Chief Minister or anybody could not answer. The post which they also not able to answer one question as to who gave the order. There are two special tahsildars names involved, but they are not ready to provide the accurate information as to why and who gave the order, because the tahsildars, as per the record, were not even in charge of that location at that point.
Right, Pramod reporting that story for us. As we're seeing further developments, the Chief Minister headed to Tuticorin, remember, on the 9th of June. Thanks, Pramod, for joining us.